Do you want to make the perfect first impression in IELTS speaking section? How can you impress the examiner and force him or her to give you a higher band score? Well, in this video, I am going to tell you exactly how you can do it.
Wow!
So in this video, I am going to tell you 15 phrases that you can use in IELTS speaking part 1 to impress the examiner. But an important thing here is that I don't want you to take my phrases and try to squeeze them into your answers. No, it doesn't work like that. So instead, what I want you to do is I want you to take my phrases, learn them, practice them and then use them naturally in your speaking. Now a lot of you might be thinking कि हम naturally कैसे use कर सकते हैं इन phrases का. So here's how you can do it. You can make a list of questions of IELTS speaking part 1 and then make a list of my phrases and then try to find out कि आप किन किन question में मेरे phrases का use कर सकते हो and then finally practice answering them. So the first area that we are going to look at is things you like, which is a common kind of question usually asked by examiners in IELTS speaking part 1. So the examiner may ask you the following questions. Do you like music? Do you like art? Do you like social media? Do you like coffee? तो दोस्तों अगर आप इन सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर कर देते हो सिंपली बाय सेइंग यस और यस आई लाइक इट और यस आई लव इट, तो दोस्तों इससे एग्जामिनर इंप्रेस नहीं होने वाला. एग्जामिनर को इंप्रेस करने के लिए यू हैव टू यूज द फ्रेज यस आई कांट गेट इनफ ऑफ इट. I can't get enough of it, which means that you want more and more because you like it so much. So repeat after me. Yes, I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. So, do you like music? Absolutely. तो दोस्तों यहाँ पे एक चीज नोट करने वाली है कि यहाँ पे हम सिर्फ सिंगुलर चीजों के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कॉफी, म्यूजिक, आर्ट एक्सेट्रा. लेकिन दोस्तों अगर आपका क्वेश्चन प्लूरल में हुआ सच एज Do you like cakes? Do you like books? Do you like cars? तो इस केस में दोस्तों हम अपने फ्रेज को भी चेंज कर देंगे सिंगुलर से प्लूरल में. सो आवर न्यू फ्रेज बिकम्स yes I can't get enough of them. इट की जगह दोस्तों हमने यहाँ पे इट के प्लूरल का यूज कर दिया है which is them. So repeat after me guys. Yes I can't get enough of them. So do you like books? That's it. Let's move on. So guys, we are still talking about things you like and our next phrase is what I like most about it, which is also a great phrase to use in these kinds of questions. So if the examiner is asking you do you like music or do you like art or do you like coffee or and do you like science, तो दोस्तों अगर आप ज्यादातर स्टूडेंट्स की तरह इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे देते हो सिंपली बाय सेइंग yes I do, it's great, इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, तो इससे दोस्तों एग्जामिनर इंप्रेस नहीं होने वाला. सो इन ऑर्डर टू इंप्रेस द एग्जामिनर यू हैव टू से यस व्हाट आई लाइक मोस्ट अबाउट इट इज इट्स सो इंटरेस्टिंग. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लास्ट वीक आई रेड एन आर्टिकल अबाउट सोलर पैनल्स एंड हाउ वी कैन यूज देम टू प्रोटेक्ट द प्लैनेट. तो बेसिकली दोस्तों आपको करना क्या है, यहाँ पे आपको सबसे पहले अपने फ्रेज का यूज करना है जो कि इस केस में है हमारा यस What I like most about it is, उसके बाद आपको एक एडजेक्टिव ऐड करना है एंड लास्ट में आपको अपना एक एग्जांपल देना है. सो डू यू लाइक साइंस? That's it. Let's move on. So guys, our next phrase, still talking about things you like, is I love that it allows me to. I love that it is the thing that we are talking about, like science, coffee, music, allows me to do something. So the examiner may ask you the following. And do you like science? Yes, I love that it allows me to understand the world around us. Do you like social media? Yes, I love that it allows me to connect with my family and friends at the press of a button. Do you like coffee? Yes, I love that it allows me to wake up quickly and be on the ball at work. Be on the ball. Well, that's a great expression. तो दोस्तों be on the ball का मतलब होता है to be very alert or sharp or attentive in any given situation. So moving on to our second group of phrases guys, जो कि आप यूज कर सकते हो things you are good at and not good at वाले questions में, जो कि दोस्तों usually examiners पूछ ही लेते हैं IELTS speaking part 1 में. So the examiner may ask you questions like the following. Do you cook? Do you swim? Do you play sports? Or the examiner can also ask you questions like, are you good at cooking? Are you good at swimming? Are you good at playing sports? तो दोस्तों आप इन सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर दे सकते हो बाय सिंपली सेइंग यस आई डू या फिर यस आई एम गुड एट इट। लेकिन दोस्तों अगर आपने ऐसा करा देन द एग्जामिनर वुड नॉट बी इम्प्रेस्ड। सो इन ऑर्डर टू इम्प्रेस द एग्जामिनर यू हैव टू से यस आई हैव अ नैक फॉर इट, yes I have a knack for it, which basically means that you are very good at it या फिर you have a special talent for it. So if the examiner is asking you are you good at cooking, then you can say yes I have a knack for it या फिर yes I have a knack for cooking. So on the other hand अगर आपका आंसर yes की बजाय no है तो उस केस में दोस्तों आप कह सकते हो no I am hopeless at it, I am hopeless at it, which basically means that you are very bad at it. So if the examiner is asking you are you good at swimming, then you can say no I am hopeless at it या फिर no I am hopeless at swimming. So are you good at singing? Absolutely. Let's move on. तो दोस्तों अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लग रही है या फिर इन्फॉर्मेटिव लग रही है देन मेक श्योर आप इसको लाइक कर दो, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दो और नोटिफिकेशन बेल भी जरूर दबा दो, क्योंकि दोस्तों ऐसी वीडियोस को बनाने में काफी ज्यादा टाइम एंड एफर्ट लगता है एंड इनफैक्ट इस वाली वीडियो को बनाने में मुझे पूरे 3 दिन लगे हैं। तो इसलिए दोस्तों जस्ट गो अहेड एंड स्ट्रेट अवे स्मैश दैट सब्सक्राइब बटन राइट नाउ। So moving on to the next section guys, in which I am going to tell you 5 phrases which are talking about how often you do things. So some of the very common questions that the examiner might ask you are, do you play football? And do you sing at all? And do you look at the sky? तो दोस्तों आप इन सारे questions का आंसर कर सकते हो by simply saying yes sometimes or yes usually or no never, but you can also be a little bit more colorful. So if your question is do you play football, then instead of just saying yes sometimes you can also say yes from time to time or yes now and again or yes every once in a while. And instead of saying yes usually you can say yes I play football on every Saturdays more often than not. More often than not just basically means usually. And finally instead of saying no never you can say no I'm not in the least bit interested in that. So do you cook? No I'm not in the least bit interested in that. Do you swim? No I'm not in the least bit interested in that. So moving on to the next category guys, in which I am going to tell you 3 phrases which are all about connectors. And guys all of these 3 phrases are very flexible. लगभग दोस्तों आप सभी sentences में इन तीनों phrases का use कर सकते हो, लेकिन I prefer कि आप इनको opinion वाले questions में use करो। तो दोस्तों opinion questions 2 तरीके के होते हैं। Number 1, the examiner can ask you do you prefer A or B? For example, do you prefer hot weather or cold weather? Do you like TV series or films? And number 2, the examiner can also ask you what is your favorite dash dash dash. So for example, what is your favorite kind of weather? So guys, our first phrase of this category or our first connector is without a doubt. Without a doubt, जिसका यूज दोस्तों आपको तब करना है जब आप अपने किसी आंसर के लिए 100% श्योर होगे। So for example, if the examiner is asking you do you prefer hot weather or cold weather, then you can say without a doubt I prefer cold weather because in the hot weather if it's sunny my skin burns so easily. So moving on to our second phrase of this category guys, or our second connector, which is in all seriousness. In all seriousness, जिसका यूज दोस्तों आप तब कर सकते हो जब आपको अपनी कोई बात एक ज्यादा सीरियस वे में बतानी हो। So for example, if the examiner is asking you, do you prefer hot weather or cold weather? Then you can say, in all seriousness, I prefer cold weather because in the hot weather, if it's sunny, my skin burns so easily. So finally guys, moving on to our third phrase of this category or our third connector, which is to be totally upfront. To be totally upfront, which basically means to be totally honest or to be completely honest. So if the examiner is asking you, do you prefer hot weather or cold weather? Then you can say, to be totally upfront, I prefer cold weather because in the hot weather, if it's sunny, my skin burns so easily. So moving on to the next and final category guys, which is would questions. So the examiner may ask you the following questions. Would you like to be famous? Would you give shoes as a present? So in this category guys, I am going to tell you 2 phrases. One is a yes answer and the other one is a no answer. So if the examiner is asking you, would you like to be famous? Then you can say, yes, I wouldn't think twice about it. I wouldn't think twice about it का मतलब होता है दोस्तों बिना ज़्यादा सोचे समझे. Whereas on the other hand, अगर आपका आंसर yes की बजाय no है तो फिर उस केस में दोस्तों आप कह सकते हो no, not for the love of money. Not for the love of money का मतलब होता है दोस्तों कि आपको चाहे कोई कितने भी पैसे दे दे आप तो भी ये नहीं करने वाले. So what about you? Would you like to be famous? Exactly. So that was it for today guys. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe the channel.